Nigel Smith and Keith Quinn here. The scene is set for this 12th final of the NZI Wellington Sevens 2011, round 3 of the HSP Sevens. And it's England versus New Zealand for the third time in the final. One win each. England 2009, New Zealand 2003. But remember, New Zealand overall have won Wellington 4 times. It's the 12th final of this magnificent capital city of New Zealand. And here, all the stats you might want. One win each. 12th meeting of these two in a cup final in the history of the Sevens. And looking at the lineups, well, no big surprises here with England. 4 in their starting lineup who were here when they won in 2009. Isoa Damu, Dan Norton, James Rodwell, Ben Gollings. Experienced warriors, and the advantage there of great continuity under the captaincy of the evergreen Ben Gollings. And the New Zealand side, well, they too have a cornerstone. Their top 4, Mikkelson, Forbes, the captain supreme, Raikambula and Cama. And 3 of them here when they last won in 2008. 6 new names in their squad this season. 2 of them make the start lineup. Declan O'Donnell, what a revelation. 7 tries he scored. Frank Halai, 5 tries. And 2 teams on the face of it, Keith, that look pretty well matched, but perhaps the home advantage with the crowd here baying for success may turn the tide in New Zealand's favour.
I think the winners of this one, Nigel, will be the team that leaves their opponents with no room to move. That's what the defence is all about. As we look inside the tunnel, and not a wrinkle on his brow. New Zealand captain DJ Forbes behind him, Lotte Rakambula, and there's Tomasi restored to the leadership in the scrum half role after being sent off, sin-binned and then subbed off in the semi-final. And look at this crazy crowd to welcome them out.
Capacity crowd at this stadium sold out in an hour when tickets went on sale, as it does every year. And we'll come back to Wellington with joy and a great showpiece, a great party and festival as well. But the focus of attention is with these 24 players and the 7 of each side who start. And remember, the final is 10 minutes each way.
Which means, Nigel, that the players coming off the bench will be critical. There's the referee, Stuart Berry of South Africa. And England have speed up the bench, and Nick Royal and Matt Turner. New Zealand have new young brilliance in Bryce Heem and Buxton Popoalii, who's been a bit of a revelation. So it's not just the players on the field in a final that is 2 periods of 7 minutes each way. It's the men who have chosen the time they come into the game off the substitutes bench. There's Frank Halai.
And one of those players who could be the key figure in this outcome. Who knows? It will be a man, though, who's been around 11 seasons. He's smiling away, the captain of England, Ben Gollings, in now his 65th tournament and playing as well as ever.
2 great teams have made the final here in Wellington 2011. England in the white, New Zealand in the black. 2 great teams meet, but something's got to give. And away it is first to the New Zealand team. Cama, Toby, Arnold, and there's the first, number 8 on number 8. And Declan O'Donnell, who's had so much space, closed down there brilliantly by Dan Caprice, one of the speed men of the New Zealand team. Bald pate of DJ Forbes, the New Zealand captain. Away sensibly, solidly into the back, so big overhand pass. First run for Halai. He hasn't had much action on the second day, and he, like O'Donnell, is marked down by his opposite number in emphatic fashion. So here are the early exchanges. New Zealand with the early possession. It's a short pass to Mikkelson. He's made very few mistakes today. Dama, they're right back in front of their posts. Halai. Lots of confidence, lots of backing up. And there's Declan O'Donnell from Waikato. There's Halai from Waikato. Forbes straight up and into Dan Caprice. But an early penalty chance for England. Which way will they take it here in just a minute of play?
Well, England closed them down superbly there. We saw the power, the direct impact of people like Halai And of course, DJ Forbes. What a workhorse that man is as captain. Here's the guy who's taken over from Kevin Barrett as scrum half. And the real pace man too is Brake of John Brake, and giving it on to Isoa Damu. And Damu under the post. He scored in the final last time England won. He scores the opener here. The British soldier who has been a mainstay of England's force in the game of sevens. And that surely is the perfect start for England, who would probably have gone in as underdogs in this final, having only just escaped getting past in the semi-final against Samoa. But now, look at this.
Is that the New Zealand captain down by the posts, injured? Nigel, as you see, Damu looks skywards, they're delighted with that. Ben Ryan, the coach, doesn't give much away.
Well, what a crucial player this man has been over the years, 4 years as captain and captain supreme. And he was here in 2008. Now, no one would wish him injured. Not even the England side. They want it all square and the best teams available. He's clearly got a bit of knee trouble, but it isn't that team knee, I think, that's troubling him.
He ran a few paces, as we saw then stopped quickly. It doesn't look right. It doesn't look right if he's just jogging a few paces and then stopping.
And anxious looks there, obviously, from coach Gordon Tietjens, who's been in charge of sevens rugby since 1993 and has done everything you could wish for as a coach in sport.
What a moment for big Solomon King, who himself has had a horror run with injuries in recent times, and this is a shock for New Zealand. They lose their captain. Off he goes injured, and that must be a serious blow, because this is a man who gives his total body commitment to the cause, and to see him hobble off looks like it might be a bit of a hamstring pull. England in the early lead by 7-0.
Yeah, what a blow that is for them. The one thing I'd say in consolation is that Solomon King is no mean substitute. This is his 21st tournament. He knows the game. He's been in the winning New Zealand squad many a time and has had unlucky injuries, but this is his time to step up and fill the massive gap.
It's a very good start by England. They've shut down all the New Zealand possession. It's been right back with their heels against their goal line in 22. They're still trying to probe. There's King. Keen as mustard. Dama through. Brent gets him. Toby Arnold. But a knock forward by England. And now
it's the other captain.
Drama here. Is that Cracknell, is it?
No, it's Ben. No, it's Cracknell. It's Cracknell.
Look at that. He ran straight into the knee of his fellow forward.
Well, it is Cracknell.
James Roddle ran straight into his head. It looked like a forehead on the knee.
So it's...
you can never write the script for live sport. Who would have thought the captain would go off and then would have an enormous collision? But he's tough, this Crackers. He's back in action again.
So a pause to catch the breath. Remember the extended time of a final. A long time to play. Still a full normal half. 7 minutes. England with that terrific start, but it's a penalty against them here.
Just a word about Solomon King, who's come on with so much time in the game left. If you've been following the New Zealand team last season, and it's kind of gone out of his your thought patterns, this is his 21st tournament, so he's a very experienced player. He's had a tough run with injuries, and it's almost like he's been kept for this role, because he's been hardly given any time on the field, but he's very keen to get back into the action, and there's a good example of him. Solomon King. Mikkelson. High to Halai. Rakambula. Arnold. Probing for the gap, but Brake's got him there. You see two players in the England team. I call them Big Red and Little Red. Rodwell and Brake. Rakambula. Floats it to Halai. Halai against Dama. Inside the 22, New Zealand piling in well here. Rakambula out wide. It's gone to Mikkelson. Nice probing run by Tim Mikkelson. And down he goes. Again, you've got to ride the stretch on those jerseys they wear. Big pressure. And this will suit Declan O'Donnell. He's a very big physical player in the midfield. Doesn't mind the crash and bash, and neither does Mikkelson. That's what the game's all about at the moment. New Zealand without their captain, with a good sub on in King. Now Cama. Space for Arnold. Let's see if he gives it the Mickey Mouse. He does. Toby Arnold.
Brilliant work by the wily playmaker. Tomasi, brilliant. Just takes a little glance up and weighs up the options and chooses the winning one. Superb play by him there, in an instinct, in a moment. Watch what he does here. He looks, he thinks this is the way to go, and he knows the other man is there, and the try is superb.
And the little Mickey Mouse for his little baby. Toby says when he does the Mickey Mouse at home, his little baby smiles. And so that's a lovely moment for him. Charlie's his daughter, and well, she'd be very proud right now. 7-5, the kick has missed. England still in the lead.
Well, that's certainly set the crowd alight, hasn't it? I mean, it's just made for an occasion like this. Equal tries, and two of the great teams in the history of sevens meeting here as the sea fret pours down here on the wet surface.
And that's a Wellington kick. The breeze is swirling here in the stadium. Local people know about it. John Brake's kick curled into the middle of the field like a mishit golf ball.
Another little clever kick through just as Ben Gollings does ring, and so Cama. But the pickup comes from Dan Norton. There's pressure here on him in his own 22. England trying to settle things down, organise. They get a penalty, and that'll help. Rodwell anxious for the ball. Holding his head, says Steve Berry. Watch it, don't do it. England, like New Zealand, can't afford a yellow card. We don't want any of those. Now, Dan Norton, emptied by Solomon King. What a chance for him to actually re-establish himself. It's all done, and knock on eventually. Every little decision is so critical in a game so close as this.
Gordon Titchens to the right. New Zealand coach, here's the England coach, Ben Ryan. These two men so calm and composed in the white-hot atmosphere of a big final. We've seen it from time and time again over the years.
So break it is just outside the England 22. Still have the same sequence of crouch, touch, pause, engage. But it's one front row against another. Little questions here for Steve Berry as Brake stands in there. John Brake, just 22, former Millfield schoolboy captain at sevens, and has the pace. England have no shortage of pace. Have they the strength? Goes to Gollings. Then the wide out of the blue boots of Dan Caprice. The two Dans of great pace and elusiveness, Dan Caprice and Dan Norton. England still with the possession. Cracknell's the feed, not a good one, but well taken by Isoa Damu. Now he loves to offload the Fijian-born soldier. And England come wide this time. They'll try and stretch. They know they've probably got an edge on sheer pace. But let's have a look here. The first little dangle with Dan Norton trying to go on the outside, but these two teams are too canny.
Have a look at Solomon King. He got right across there in the sprinting running of the backs and was one of the men. There he is, number 3. He's supposed to be a big lumbering forward. How did he get there where the speedy guys are out wide?
I think the days of lumbering forwards have gone now.
Long gone from this game. And if you think of, I mentioned before, the two look-alike red-headed players, Rodwell and Brake. How about the two look-alike, quick-alike players out wide, Norton and Caprice? Beautiful runners. What a lovely sparkling night we have in Wellington. The little drizzle has enhanced the drama here. A little slippiness on the ball and on the dew on the grass. Good scrum by England, loose one.
The blue boots, remember, is Dan Caprice. We're in the last half minute of the first half. And every battle for every little scrap of possession goes to Mikkelson, outstanding in this tournament. And away now, the ball with O'Donnell, the sprinter, covered by the sprinter. Dan Norton, but he's got away. He's got away. Perhaps the new hero of New Zealand Sevens, Declan O'Donnell with his 8th try.
This was a hard task here because of the stickability of Dan Norton. Look at that, stayed on him again, but he slipped him at the end through elusiveness, sheer power. Here's the story.
Well, a celebration of a 20-year-old who didn't even make it into the New Zealand under-20s and 15s, but he certainly made it into the senior Sevens squad, and what an impact he's had just on the stroke of half-time.
And there's the half-time score, New Zealand leading England by 12-7.